Class 3, Break It Down, or Stormy Skies. Here's an overview of the class session. Please see your curriculum for a list of items to prepare prior to this class. These can be found under the Prep Steps heading. K-3 instructors, please note the differences in your curriculum. Please also see the timestamps in the description below for relevant walkthroughs. Activity 1, Pair and Share. Activity 1, Pair and Share, was first presented in Class 1, Activity 2, so we'll begin this walkthrough with Activity 2 instead. If you are new to teaching the AKA Science curriculum or would like a refresher, please see the video guide for that class. Activity 2, Rough Stuff. The goal of this activity is to simulate physical erosion. This activity is linked to 2 survey questions. This activity will be conducted in pairs. Give each pair a 1 ounce cup, a 1 ounce lid, a sugar cube, and 3 pieces of gravel. After the leading question, have students observe the sugar cube. Place the cube in the 1 ounce cup with 3 pieces of gravel, then have the students shake vigorously for 30 seconds. Make sure they hold the lid down while they shake. After 30 seconds, have them observe the sugar cube. Return the cube to the cup, replace the lid, and have the other student in the pair shake vigorously for 30 seconds. Have each student take 1 more turn, observing in between each shake. Activity 3, Crazy Caves. For K-3 instructors, this activity is your Class 4 Activity 5. The goal of this activity is to investigate the process of cave formation. This activity is linked to 2 survey questions. This activity will be conducted in pairs. Begin by asking students how they think caves are formed. Then give each pair a cup with 5 sugar cubes and have them stack them against the side of the cup like so. Ask them what the sugar cubes represent, then have students flatten out their Play-Doh and cover the sugar cubes completely, tucking the Play-Doh closely around the cubes so that they touch. And we have an example here. Have students make sure that there are no gaps between the side of the cup and the Play-Doh. So on the side, this would be where 5 sugar cubes are. Have students poke holes in the top of the Play-Doh, not pictured here. Then have them drip water over the Play-Doh with a pipette. Have students observe and discuss according to the printed curriculum. So the sugar cube should dissolve. Here we have a dried one, so the sugar cube should dissolve and then form water at the bottom. You can discard all model caves, but keep the 9 ounce cups that are containing water because you'll want them for the next activity. Activity 4, Sinking Feeling. The goal of this activity is to investigate the process of sinkhole formation. This activity is linked to 2 survey questions. This activity will be conducted in groups of 3. Show students the sinkhole image worksheet and discuss the included prompts. Then, hand out the appropriate supplies. For this experiment, you'll have the groups make sure that the hole in the 5.5 ounce cup is fully open, like so. If you need to, you can fold these flaps over at the bottom just so that the hole is completely open. Then, nest the 5.5 ounce cup in the 10 ounce cup and place the sugar cube over the hole. This one already has sand in it, so you can't see the sugar cube, but it's there and it's over the hole. Gently add 2 ounces of sand to the top cup, pouring it so that the sugar cube is completely covered. Make sure the cube stays over the hole while you're doing so. Have groups then add 2 ounces of water to their sinkhole model from their 9 ounce cups directly over the sugar cube. Have groups watch the sand carefully and warn them that it may take a minute or 2. After discussion, show them the sinkhole worksheet again and ask them what may have occurred in the image. And if the activity doesn't work the first time, feel free to have groups repeat the activity with the remaining supplies. Used sand can be discarded and model cups can be rinsed out. Activity 5, Paper Mountain Streams. The goal of this activity is to investigate erosion caused by rivers. This activity is linked to 2 survey questions. This activity will be conducted in groups of 4. After the discussion, have students decide who will do each of the following tasks. Crumple paper, draw lines with a marker, use a pipette, and pour water. Have the first student make a mountain with the paper by putting their index finger underneath and crumpling the paper around the finger. Then have the student remove the finger and crumple the top some more to define the point. Open up the paper, but don't flatten it out. Have 2 groups, so 8 students total, gather around 1 aluminum roasting pan. Place the newly formed mountain of one group into the pan so that the long sides of the paper line up with the long sides of the pan. Then, have the second student in each group use a blue washable marker to mark where they think the water will travel, as we've done here. Have the third student in each group use a pipette to dispense water onto the peak of each mountain several times. Then, have the last student in each group slowly pour out the rest of their water onto the peak of the mountain and observe what happens. After, reset each station, then allow the second group to go with their mountain.
Activity 6, Daily Debrief. Activity 6, Daily Debrief, was first presented in Class 1, Activity 5. Again, if you are new to teaching the AKA Science curriculum or would like a refresher, please see the video guide for that class and activity. That's it for Class 3. See you in the next one. For K through 3 instructors, please continue watching for modifications to your curriculum. Activity 2, Weather Journal. Activity 2, Weather Journal, was first presented in the Modifications for K through 3 section of the Class 1 video. If you are new to teaching the AKA Science curriculum or would like a refresher, please see the video guide for that class and activity. Activity 3, Rainmakers. This activity can be found in the 4 through 6 curriculum as Class 4, Activity 2. For an explanation of this activity, please see the video guide for that class. Activity 4, Thunder, Boom. For this activity, no supplies are needed. This activity will be conducted as a class. The goal of this activity is to understand the relationship between thunder and lightning. This activity is essentially a game of red light, green light. Choose one student to be it and have them stand at the front of the room with their back to the class. When the student says flash, have the other students quietly walk to the front. When the it student says boom, have the other students freeze. First person to the front of the room wins, and you can repeat this experiment as many times as you'd like.
Activity 5, Static Balloons. The goal of this activity is to generate and observe static electricity. This activity will be conducted in pairs. Each pair will receive a piece of polyester cloth and a pre-inflated balloon from prep. Give pairs time to experiment with static electricity. For the best static charge, rub the balloon against the cloth in multiple short, vigorous strokes in the same direction. It's maybe a little bit difficult, so. After the discussion, challenge pairs to see who can charge their balloon enough for it to stick to a wall, a shirt, or their arm. Some students may also try to demonstrate static electricity with their hair. The balloons should be thrown away at the end of the activity, but if students would like a piece of cloth, you can cut them in half for students to take home. Activity 6, Rain Gauge. The goal of this activity is to make a rain gauge. This activity will be conducted in pairs. Pair up students, then give each student a jumbo popsicle stick and a 10-ounce plastic cup. Give each pair a paper tape measure. Have students take turns lining up their popsicle stick with the tape measure so that the end of the stick is at the 0 mark. Have students mark the popsicle stick at 1-inch intervals and label them, starting with 1. In the end, you should have something like this. This one is unlabeled, but. After the discussion prompts, tape the popsicle stick to the inside of their cup so that the 0 end is touching the bottom of the cup. After the leading question, give each student a Dixie cup and have them poke several small holes into the bottom with a pencil. After another leading question, set up 2 testing stations by putting 2 roasting pans on the floor. Space them out so there's room for students to gather. If you'd like, you can set up just 1 testing station. You may also take students outside for this portion. Have students hold their Dixie cup over their rain gauge as they pour water from the water source and to simulate rain. Let students observe how much rain was collected.
That's it for Class 3. See you in the next one.